Welcome to day 5 of Habits for a Healthy Work Pace. And today we are going to talk about what to stop and how to say no. This is where the rubber hits the road for many people, including me. So what I want you to do is to recruit your inner dragon and imagine that she is sitting on a pile of gold that she is going to protect. Honestly, I think it's quite easy to set boundaries if you follow the processes that I've been talking us through in terms of knowing what you want to do, being clear about what matters most. That's what we did yesterday, of course, understanding your energy patterns and what recharges your batteries. You can, using those processes, get quite clear about what boundaries you need. Keeping them is often the hard bit. Jim Collins, the business writer who wrote a couple of fantastic books, Good to Great and others, suggests that what we should do is every single time we write a to-do list, we should write a stop doing list. Now, I think that doing it every time is a bit perhaps far-flung, but what would that be like for you? To sit down really seriously and write down a stop doing list. Now, yesterday I talked about the fact that often when we're making choices about what we do want to do, we have to set aside some things that would be really, really attractive and really we'd like to do. So we're making hard choices here. We're not making easy choices. And it's the same with stop doing. Sometimes we have to stop doing things that we like, even things that we're quite good at, so that we focus on what we can do. So the phrase, say no for the bigger yes, comes to mind. We do have to stop doing things. Often in my work with teams, I suggest an activity with a team where collectively they sit round and say, okay, once we've created our strategy or our year plan or whatever it is, how do we execute that? What do we need to stop? It's really important to name it, to be explicit and quite granular about what you need to stop so that you can commit to doing the things you really want to do. So create a stop doing list, get intentional and clear about what you're prepared to stop in the full awareness that it will allow you to do the stuff that you really do want to do. And then sticking to it. So saying no is often the hardest thing that we have to do, especially if, like me, you want to please people or you want to offer your services far and wide in terms of whatever it is you're doing, your profession. Saying no can be so difficult. So I've got 2 tips that I'm going to share with you that have helped me and many clients along the way. The first is keeping a no journal. It's pretty much what it says on the tin. What you do is every time you say no to something, you write it down. Then you write down how it made you feel in the moment of saying no, because it's often that moment that is what stops us from saying no, because it can feel really icky and squirmy and, oh God. So write down that feeling and notice how long it takes, how long it lasts for, because equally, as difficult and squirmy and awful as it is, it can sometimes only last a minute or so, less than that sometimes. So write down when you said no, how you did it, how you felt when you did it, and how long that lasted. And here comes the good bit. The next thing you can do is really satisfying, and you might need to do it a little bit after you've said no, is to write down what you have done with the time you released for yourself by saying no. So what's saying no enabled for you? I found that keeping a no journal over time just prompts me to say no in those little micro moments where you have that choice between saying yes and no. Knowing that I might write it down A, encourages me to do it, to say no, and B, over time becomes a very rewarding practice because it makes me realize how much extra time I have to focus on what I really want to do. So keeping a no journal can be extremely useful as a tool to help you say no. And then the second thing I'm going to offer you is what's known as the Harvard no, because it was invented by Harvard scientists, so it must be right, okay? And I'm going to read it out. It's in my book, The Art of Enough. And it comes from the Harvard Program of Negotiations. So the first thing you need to do is start with warmth, showing appreciation for the other's request. Thank you so much for asking me. That's really, really great. I'm really flattered you've asked. Thank you. Then explain with great enthusiasm what your priority is that will make it unable for you to do the thing you're being invited to do. If possible, this will be something that the other person can understand and empathise with. I'm so sorry, I can't do that speaking event because I'm running a leadership program with some great people and I need that time to prepare. And of course, you know that for these things, you have to be really, really prepared. So I need to preserve that time for my prep. Then you say no. With regret, you can't do what you've been asked to do. So I'm ever so sorry. This occasion, I'm going to have to decline your kind offer. You offer again with warmth something that you could do, which doesn't change the fact that you're not changing your priorities. So, for example, it might be, I could recommend some really good people who I think could also help you, something along those lines, or whatever, and offer good wishes to the person that whatever you're declining goes well. I do hope that it's a really great success. I'm sure it will be. As with all of these things, it's not rocket science, but it is neurobiologically intelligent. You understand that you don't want to trigger somebody else's amygdala or make them feel attacked. And it's emotionally intelligent. It's empathetic. It's empathic. It's saying, okay, I'm really sorry I can't help you. I really, really would like to, but on this occasion I can't. And here's some great suggestions. So it's got some really good foundational thinking in there. Try it, because saying no and being very clear about what you're going to stop will really help you to keep on track and create those habits of a healthy work pace that works for you. See how it goes. I look forward to hearing. Bye-bye.